Let's Queer Up Business. HRC's Count Us In campaign, joined by 75 leading businesses pledging to fight anti-LGBTQ+ legislation. The Human Rights Campaign announced that over 75 large businesses and dozens of small businesses have signed on its Count Us In pledge. President of the Human Rights Campaign, Kelley Robinson, released a statement saying that the allyship should not end on June 30th. The community is experiencing the worst year on record, with over 520 bills that aim to strip us of our very existence, dignity, and history. She said the current anti-LGBTQ+ laws are the reason why the HRC has declared, for the first time, a national state of emergency for our community. Businesses that sign the Count Us In pledge commit to being public LGBTQ+ allies, calling on lawmakers to abandon any efforts to discriminate and reject anti-LGBTQ threats to company values of diversity, equity, and inclusion. It also means that the companies will raise up to honest and authentic experiences of LGBTQ+ Americans and ensure transgender and non-binary employees and their families have access to health and medical care. HRC has collaborated with GLAAD on efforts to ensure the business community has substantive ways to support the LGBTQ+ community, including GLAAD's separate sign-on statement of support. And what no better way of signing with GLAAD specifically. Only the two primary sources of open rhetoric to help small businesses realize, like, hey, we're going to grow and do better if we sign on with these 75 larger corporations and help our employees show that, hey, we love, we accept, we want to help and do what we can. It fills my heart with warmth.
I think what is super salient for me is a sense of permanence in a way, right? That we're not seeing this fleeting agreement to show up for 30 days out of the year, and understanding that we don't get to take off our rainbow logos on July 1st, right? Like, we're here, we're queer all 12 months of the year. Mm-hmm. That rhymed a little more than I expected, which is fun. and that we should, that we need companies and businesses, the corporate world as well, to show up year round as well, so to be queer year round as well.
Reading this story, and again, I know that this is a new pledge. I was actually a little disappointed. There's 75 companies on the list. The S&P 500 are the 500 largest companies in America. If you go on LinkedIn and look at their logos, if they're having a rainbow logo like Max's earrings, and they've changed their Coca-Cola to a rainbow, many of those companies are not listed. I work for an S&P 500 corporation, which I will not name on the news, is not on that list. And I actually sent an email to our DEI office today and asked, are we signing on to this pledge? I had not heard the specifics about the pledge. So I do think it's something we should challenge to keep pushing that, because the way that, if you go back to what happened like with the bathroom bill in North Carolina many years ago, the way that was overturned was from the corporate side of the, pulling out of North Carolina and fighting back. And so to only see 75 companies on this list, I think is it's a huge opportunity, of course. But during Pride Month, you would have thought we would have seen a much larger, the S&P 500 is only 500 companies. There are thousands of corporations out there that could be signed on to this pledge. So, I urge everyone to, go ask the companies that you do business with to sign on to this pledge.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is, I hope that grows as we move forward. I hope that Pride Month is not the sole place where folks are signing up. Again, that they're really showing up and showing out outside of Pride Month. I think what's also extremely important is a level of accountability. HRC already has a corporate equality index that they use to gauge more so how they're treating their staff and employees, their queer staff and employees. And I think that there's a level of accountability needed for this pledge, some metrics that they can look at to really figure out, okay, which companies, it's great that you signed on to this letter that takes 0.2 seconds. What are you actually, doing with that? What are you actually taking action on as a result of that?
And you work for a local business, obvious.
Local gay business.
Well,
kind of in a bubble.
True. But one of the a local program that has been ongoing since before this pledge. Equality Florida has their Open Doors program, which businesses can sign on to show that they are a welcoming place for LGBTQ people. As part of our Hollywood LGBTQ Council, we kind of piggybacked onto that Open Doors, and we created our Circle of Pride, which was for local Hollywood businesses to sign on. Again, very, very small, but at a much smaller level, because again, it starts with the barber, the restaurant, the dry cleaner, and you work your way up. From again, yes, we are in a bubble here in Wilton Manors and being in South Florida and having a gay-owned business, of course, it's a welcoming place. But it is a signal to ask the places that you do business, hey, are you aware of this? I mean, I know for our Hollywood Council, the dry cleaner that my partner and I use, when we were doing Hollywood Pride, we asked them, would you put up a poster? And since then, they have a pride flag up in the dry cleaner year-round now. Mm-hmm. So, we think some of these small things are not important, but I do think they're very important because, again, people really interact with those small businesses probably, again, more than big corporations. And it's a signal to others who come into that business to say, oh, we need to be on board with this.
No, absolutely. And there are other ways too, even beyond that, right? We have the Equality Florida Space, Hollywood LGBT Council. Google, I believe in 2021, I want to say, released a new feature on Google Maps that actually allows businesses to mark whether or not they're LGBT friendly, that you can just view right online. There's so many ways to show they're small symbols of support, but they mean something in aggregate, and especially when there's a level of accountability to hold them to.
Absolutely. Let's keep Pride Month going all year round.
We are Queer News Tonight, the world's first and only live daily LGBTQ+ evening news show, brought to you from Happening Out Television Network. We operate in the same model of PBS and NPR, but for the LGBTQ+ community. We educate, inform, and entertain by supporting the 10 pillars of our LGBTQ+ community, with more than 100,000 a week watching us on Roku, Apple Television, and other channels. To keep the story going, we accept donations with 100% transparency. Stay updated and live authentically with Queer News Tonight.